My name is Keith Koenig, currently from Wichita, Kansas. I retired from mostly a desk job. It did involve some travel. I was responsible for getting in touch with all of the stakeholders in the state of Kansas at all the airports. My boss wanted me to travel from airport to airport, and he wanted me to walk around the terminal quite a bit, and I just couldn't walk. Before the pain, I'd play pickleball, I would grill, play with my dogs. 15 years ago, I could play tennis with my kids.
Keith suffered from more than one condition, resulting in loss of mobility and pain.
Doctors told me that I had degenerative disc disease, where my discs were just collapsing, and started at L5, S1, and just continued working its way up. I have a rare condition called adhesive arachnoiditis. General medical practice says there's nothing they can do for you. You're going to lead a painful, miserable life. It would hinder my ability to do things. I may have to cut a walk short or something, or not ride my bike as long. I took a lot of pain medicines. I took a lot of muscle relaxers, and then there's medicines to counteract the effects that those have. I was in bed 16 hours a day. I'd get up breakfast, lunch, and dinner and be up for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and take another pain pill and try to get some rest.
Desperately looking for a resolution to his pain, Keith underwent numerous forms of treatment, including a spinal fusion.
I've had multiple surgeries prior to coming to Bonati. All of my lumbar was fused. Up to L2, L3 was my last fusion. I've had laminectomies. I've had ablations to kill the nerves. It would just point a pain in a new area. You know, as you fuse your spine, that joint becomes solid, and it transfers all its energy up to your next disc, and the next disc goes bad. You're going to need lots of opioids, which there seems to be a war on getting opioids for pain patients. I've also had shoulder replaced. I've got some neck issues.
After hearing about the Bonati Spine Institute in a support group for a spine condition, Keith decided to send in his MRI for review.
So I'm on a number of support groups, and someone asked the question on there that they had heard Dr. Bonati did a successful surgery on someone with arachnoiditis. Well, that was the first I'd ever heard of Bonati, so I did a research on it, and on his brochure, he addresses arachnoiditis. It was just a couple of days, and I heard from a patient advocate, and she told me how to submit my MRI down here. I was able to do that digitally. It was Dr. Bonati himself that called me, and after he had reviewed my MRI, he thought he could definitely help me, and he wanted me to come down here and make our plans from there. But he thought he could help. It made me hopeful. Hope is something that gets hard to find nowadays.
Keith, like thousands of other guests of the Bonati Spine Institute, found the efficiency of the evaluation process unlike anything he's encountered anywhere else.
That is a blessing. I mean, healthcare takes an eternity. I mean, if I need an MRI, first I got to get an appointment with like a neurosurgeon. That can take 3 months, Then I see the neurosurgeon, he'll schedule me for an MRI. That'll take another 2 months. Then it'll take a month or two to get back with the neurosurgeon to review the MRI. Then if you need surgery, it's going to be another couple of months while they schedule the surgery. Here, when I came to Bonati, they did a little physical on me. They sent me over for MRI. It was the same day. They wheeled me over into the other buildings. I got a series of x-rays, and it wasn't just your basic x-rays. They took a ton of x-rays. They did the MRIs, and then I came back over to this building, and we reviewed the MRI the same day. That was amazing. many of my problems was where I'd already been fixed.
On average, patients of the Bonati Spine Institute arrive for the evaluation on a Monday and are finished with their surgical summary on Friday of the same week.
And it was a little hard to believe that everything was going to get done for me at once in a week, that I was going to have 4 surgeries in a week.
The targeted Bonati spine procedures are performed incrementally using conscious IV sedation, where the patient remains awake and communicating with their surgeon to ensure their source of pain is eliminated.
You're part of the surgery. The doctor's right there. I see the doctor. My wife was in the room. She observed the my surgery. They've got screens set up. They got the screen that the doctor's looking at. They got a screen that the patient's looking at. And he has you do movements to see, did we get all the pain, As opposed to general open back surgery, they just take out a bunch of stuff, sew you back together, and wait 2 years to figure out if it worked for you or not. He fixed the areas that were fused by other doctors. Other doctors, once they fuse you, they're done with it. They're not going to help you at that location. That's all they do. That's where he went in and fixed me.
No pain. Now go up and down.
Yeah.
Up. No back pain.
No.
No leg pain.
No.
While in the recovery room, Keith is up and walking unassisted only a few minutes after his last exclusive Bonati spine procedure.
The big thing was I just had the ability to walk. Walking for me was always risky, and I couldn't walk in a straight line, and now I can. And I walked without my cane this morning, and I walked in a straight line, so.
Keith compares the recovery process between traditional open back surgery to the minimally invasive Bonati spine procedures.
Back home, at post-surgery, you're in a lot of pain. They've opened up your back. They've cut through muscles. You have to wear a brace. It's extremely difficult to move. You're in this brace for several weeks. You're in quite a bit of pain for 6 months, and to fully recover from open back surgery, you're waiting 2 years to see if the surgery was truly a success. Where with Bonati, you don't wear a brace. They tell me I can expect to feel fully recovered in 6 weeks. Based on my experience, I would recommend the Bonati Spine Institute, yes.
Keith is most looking forward to spending quality time with his family.
Going for a walk with my wife. So far in the last 2 years, the furthest I've walked is just past my next door neighbor's house and turned around and came back. So maybe I'll be able to walk all the way around the block. And I've got my son's wedding coming up at the end of May, and it just terrified me that, I would just be sitting in a wheelchair taking my pain pills, and that just sounded miserable. Now, I'm figuring I'm going to be able to attend it. I'll be able to stand, and I won't be highly medicated. So this was a blessing.